Hey, what's happening? It's Thursday night. We are 10 days away from Halloween night, which is the greatest night of the year for some people. For me, it's okay. And we are here to talk about Halloween Kills finally. After much fighting in the group chat, we were clawing at each other, we're punching each other in the nuts. It was all kinds of outrageous shit going on in our group. It was fucking crazy. We're finally here to talk to you, and we want to hear from you what you think of the latest installment of the Halloween franchise, which is now Halloween 3 again, but a proper Halloween 3. It's Halloween Kills. And we've got the usual suspects minus Keith. We'll start off with Nate and the three headed monster behind him. And we're going to go individually real fast. Your first impression of Halloween Kills. Did you like it or not like it? I like your shirt, by the way.
I like it. My first impression was I didn't love it. I didn't hate it, but yeah, my first impression was not stellar.
We are on the same page. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Seth, my friend. How are you?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm deliciously great as usual. Um, if somebody wants to eat me up, anyway, same question for you. Initial thoughts. We saw your review on the horrorsyndicate.com, and if you haven't checked that out, go to the horrorsyndicate.com, check it out. Seth wrote a spoiler-free review. By the way, I'll get to that later. Go ahead, buddy.
My first thoughts were I loved it. I had a fun time with it.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we'll introduce Jared. Hey, Jared. First thoughts, Halloween Kills.
I did survive Halloween Kills. I don't think very many people did survive that movie.
That's true.
I was kind of on the fence about it. The first time I watched it, it was kind of like Nate said, I didn't love it or hate it. But after I watched it a second time, I had a better appreciation for it. But I can always get back into that when we get further in the show.
Yeah, and we definitely will. For me, I didn't mention anything coming off. I was almost despondent after seeing it. I don't know why I was so upset by this movie, but I was. I didn't love it. I actually thought to myself, how could anybody like this movie? And the funny thing is, one of our old co-hosts from the other show, Morgan, she messaged me, "You're not going to like this movie." Right after she saw it, which was before I saw it. And yeah, so I've watched it 4 times. I think I'm coming around. How many times have you guys watched it now?
I think 3 or 4, and thank God for Peacock because I have warmed up to it because I've been able to watch it a couple times.
Thank you, Peacock.
Yeah, thank you, Peacock. A good move, Bloomhouse.
Yeah, I think that was very smart, especially for us fans, because I think it's beneficial to both parties, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's made. Well, last I checked, it was over 60 million. I don't know for sure how much it's made in all, but it's making some money in a pandemic world. It's making some decent money. Seth, what are you up to now? Well, last I checked, it was over 60 million.
5 times.
How much? 5. Now you're not following the schedule.
No, I slowed down a little bit.
It should be 6 times by now. I saw it 6 times, right?
I know.
Oh,
just got distracted.
Is it getting better each time for you?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's good. Jared, I'm guessing you've seen it the least amount of us.
Twice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, twice.
Now, did you see it on Peacock only, or did you get to go to the theater?
Just Peacock. Yeah, I mean, I could have gone to the theater, but work and stuff and homework. Yeah, I really couldn't do it during natural life hours. I had to watch it in the middle of the night at like 2:00 in the morning.
See, I knew it was coming to Peacock probably around midnight, and I had pre-ordered tickets, and I'm like, I'm gonna not watch it on Peacock. But those sons of bitches, they dropped it an hour earlier, I guess, for Eastern time. So it came out at 11. I was like, I can't not watch this. So I had to watch it. And then I was like, I don't know if I want to go see it again in the theater, but I did. And you know, it keeps getting better each time. So anyway, let's get into the discussion. I had a checklist of things I wanted to touch on. Does anybody remember what it was? Let me pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone.
I don't have my phone.
Yeah. Well, now I feel like an asshole because I have my phone with me. Like, oh, Ray's got his phone, so he can, look at his phone all the time. All right, so let's talk about. Okay, first of all, let's make sure we let everybody know this is a spoiler review. I should have put that up in the description, but spoilers right here.
Yeah.
We're doing spoilers for this movie. It's been out a week now, basically, and I think it's okay to. You guys think it's okay to do spoilers, right?
I'd hope they wouldn't watch this otherwise.
Yeah, if you.
But
if
you haven't watched it yet, I feel sorry for you because that's all anyone's talking about is this and the monsters.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind talking about that at some point because I'm curious. I think the cast looks pretty good, but I do want to get into the first thing I want to show is Michael Myers now has the most on-screen kills. What do you guys think of that?
It's kind of like Tom Brady taking over Drew Brees' passing record. It has to happen at some point.
Yeah, I think once Jason comes back, and Nate actually put it in one of the things we did. Jason's going to come back. He's going to come back and retake his title.
Possibly, yeah.
I don't see how that's not going to happen because Jason was already pretty high up there. It's kind of a cool deal, though, for those kill counters. I remember hearing back in the 80s, people were actually counting along when somebody would die in the Friday the 13th the showings for that. So we got some comments rolling in on Evil Dies Tonight. Yeah. Well, that video isn't working for me.
Uh-oh.
Refresh your browser, I'd say. Anyway, so the first thing I want to talk about, and again, let me do one last time. This is spoiler country. We are actually, I can do this. I'm gonna put that up there. Spoilers, so everybody knows we're doing spoilers. I want to talk to you guys about the flashback. That's kind of the first thing they start with is the flashback. What are your initial thoughts and how well was it handled? That's my first question.
Phenomenally. I think I haven't run into anybody that didn't love the flashback stuff because that's what you go. I mean, we've seen Halloween so many times that we kind of live in Haddonfield and that Haddonfield in some way. So to see Haddonfield at that time with those police cars and those police uniforms, and to see that shot of Michael Myers in the alleyway where Hawkins is chasing him, it's like straight out Halloween 2. Oh my God, that's where we want to live. And then you go into the Myers house and it's the way it was. And
yeah,
the level of detail, I was thinking of that today, a lot of sequels are made without that love of detail or knowledge of the previous films. We talk about Part 5. That guy didn't give a fuck about Halloween, right?
Yeah.
David Gordon Green is putting shit in there that even fans don't even realize is there. The kid, the trick-or-treater from Part 2 with the balloons is in the flashback trick-or-treating in this movie.
That's what you were talking about. Okay,
yeah.
I was looking for that. Yeah, okay.
The part where Karen's getting the ride, giving a ride to the girl in Halloween 2 to the I got to get to work and all that. There's in the background is a kid with balloons on, walking around. That kid's walking down the street in the flashbacks in this movie. There's the dead dog, of course. The gutter having crashed into the window, being there. I mean,
yeah, that was cool.
All those little details that we know as fans, he's put it in there because he genuinely loves these movies, and it shows. I mean, just throwing all these nods into it, and he's recreating moments like the Halloween 4 shootout on the stairwell and all that. But it's not a direct copy. It's organically there. It's not shoehorned in when movies really make a bad do of that, where they try to homage a scene where it feels forced. The only thing forced in this movie is
Sorry,
one-liners.
I feel left out.
But
there we go.
Yeah, take it away, Seth. Let me hear from you because Seth really, he's our Halloween guy. I'm a Halloween guy.
I love the flashback. Yeah, the flashback parts were actually some of my favorite parts of this movie, because of how well they're done. David Gordon Green and his cinematographer really kind of captured John Carpenter and Dean Cundy's look and feel with the way that they shot it and with the way it was lit and everything. It was great. And the lookalike that they got, that they put makeup on for Loomis, I mean, that was pretty damn spot on. Like I could tell just a little bit,
but his movements, he looked like it was Pleasance, didn't it?
Yeah, physically, most movement wise. Like, I don't know who's out there listening, but if someone can get Christopher Nelson and that guy and do photo ops at some convention, you will make a lot of money. Imagine getting a photo op with a guy that looks like Donald fucking Pleasance as Dr. Loomis and a Michael Myers guy. I would pay for that all day long.
I think I would too. Go ahead. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. And even the stunt actor that they got to play young Michael for that flashback scene, really good, really captured Nick Castle's movements and everything. Just the flashback is definitely my favorite part.
I love that we get that classic
and the
crane, that crane shot from the original movie of him standing in the yard with everybody standing in freeze frame.
Yeah, and the return of Carpenter's classic, his from his score. That piece in particular has been kind of missing with all the sequels, and they reincorporated that for that moment, and it was just really awesome.
Also, Jim Cummings. Jim Cummings is a cop again. I love Jim Cummings and all of his films. He's always a cop.
Yeah, I don't know who Jim Cummings is, unfortunately. When you said that, I was like, I don't know who that is. But
have you not seen the Wolf of Snow Hollow yet? Or
that was the guy that got. Yeah, that was the guy that got killed by Hawkins.
Hey, okay. I was gonna say that you're gonna give away.
I'm spoiling this movie, not any other movie.
I thought you were spoiling another movie that I haven't seen yet. I was like, hey.
The officer that got killed by Hawkins at the beginning in the flashback was the director of The Wolf of Snow Hollow.
Yeah, writer, director, star. Yeah, he's phenomenal.
One of the things that. Go ahead.
I totally fanboyed when I saw that. It's like, that's the guy from The Wolf of Snow Hollow.
Yeah. It's like fucking Jim Cummings. Go ahead.
I didn't care for the flashback at first, and I gotta be honest, I don't know why, but the second time I saw it, I got it, and I think it was like when I see it in the theater, it had a bigger impact on me seeing that flashback than it did seeing it on my TV, because I was more immersed in the theater and thinking like, God, this is an extension of 1978 John Carpenter's fucking Halloween done superbly well. The everything about it, the mask, the Michael, I loved how he comes out of the closet to get the cop. That scene was so fucking 1978, I loved it. And but the thing is, it ruins the rest of the movie for me in a way, because I'm like, I want more of this night, not the 2018 night. I want more of the 78, even though we got that in 1980.
More flashbacks, totally.
They did it so well, and Loomis looked great. I'm still not 100% on with that voice that they keep using. It sounds a little off. I get it. Yeah. Well,
I thought the voice sounded better in the last movie.
Yeah. From the recording, but I mean, the flashback is chef's kiss, to me. So more of that. David Gordon Green should direct a direct sequel in 1978. But yeah, I love the flashback. We want to know what you guys think out there. Apparently, a couple people are having trouble with Facebook. I'm sorry about that. If you're missing it now, it'll be right back up on YouTube when we're done. So, but still, if you're out there watching, please comment. Go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. They have a Halloween episode of did you guys watch that? The Halloween episode of the Movies That Made Us?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to see more 78. I think a lot of us would. So, yeah, Jared, you like the flashback too? Then,
I did. I thought it was very effective, actually. Like the part where it shows Lonnie, I wasn't really feeling that part, but like in the house with the cops
yeah,
and all that whole situation, that was very, very, very effective.
yeah, and they did
I'm
such a
so,
great job with
I'm
the
so
zombies.
jealous. I'm so jealous of all these like modern horror filmmakers who are recreating these amazing classic sets, like Mike Flanagan and Doctor Sleep
Yeah,
recreating the Overlook,
yes,
and
yes.
Mike recreating the Myers house. Like, can you imagine
Hmm.
walking in there, man?
Well, yeah, I mean, think about this. We're going to get a Freddy remake at some point. They're going to recreate the Elm Street house. I mean, I'd love to see that again. That's my iconic horror house, is the Elm Street house, of course. You guys know I have a big hard on for Elm Street. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Elm Street. Let's talk about the story a little bit, um, which was one of my problems. I thought it was a little flimsy overall, but Seth reminded me that it's a middle part of a 3 chapter story, which does help in a way. What do you guys?
Yeah, yeah. That was. It helps knowing that this is the second act and
Mhm.
realizing that, as David Gordon Green's put it, this movie is just everything's let loose, and that's really what it is. It's just a chaotic, nonstop.
Everything is let loose.
Everything is happening.
Everything.
Everything is
Yeah.
exploding. It's not about we have one scene of the mob. It's like the whole fucking town is hunting this
Yeah.
guy, and
Mhm.
these are things that we have thought about or seen, but not this way, not this level. So it's cool. It makes it a very different feeling Halloween movie, which is, I think, part of why people really dig it, because we haven't seen this movie yet.
That's
It doesn't.
true.
It's not. It doesn't follow the formula or the same beats as everything else has done. At the same time, that I think that was where my problem lied, was that it's almost like a montage movie where it's
Mhm.
like we got so many characters, so many things going on spread out between those characters, probably what, 25, 30 characters. We don't spend much time with anyone in particular, so there's no
No,
lead character in the movie.
no.
uh, and because of that, and because they're characters in action, in momentum, their dialogue is all in action dialogue, bravado, grandstanding. You got to kill it now. He dies tonight, and 40 years ago, he's got to die tonight. And I'm going to be the one that does it. Like how many people can say that he dies tonight, and I'm going to be the one. At least 5 of them say that. And what was really bad, like that was what was bothering me, was the repetitive nature of the dialogue and people saying the same shit,
Yeah.
uh,
Yes.
which
Yes.
drove me nuts. That was where that's what was keeping me from enjoying the movie was. And a lot of people are like, wow, it's just dialogue, have fun. I'm like, yeah, I was having fun, but as the writer and editor in me is like, fuck, they should have trimmed that scene right there. They should have cut that line. They should have cut it here. Like even little things like where the sheriff goes to tell Karen that Michael's still alive. She's like, well, no one told you. And it's like they could have cut right there to her reacting instead of, what? He's still alive. What? Like they could have cut all that. Like we know the audience knows Michael's alive. We don't need, but so there's a lot of characters telling characters in the movie things that the audience already knows, which is a no-no in
Mhm.
screenwriting, and telling us information that we already know from part one and 2018. A lot of flashbacks of 2018. It's like, so it's all this regurgitated information that we already have, and then characters repeating the same information or the same sentiments and the same dialogue. That's where the biggest problems of the film are for me. I can't unsee that, but once I let that go, I just kind of started to enjoy it more for what it was, instead of
Yeah.
saying, you know what, okay, yeah, oh, that's bad. I wish they'd cut that, but I can't hold that against an hour and 45-minute movie.
I mean, every time they said, I heard 40 years, I took a shot. Every time they said Evil Dies Tonight, I took a shot. Maybe I didn't like it because I was so drunk at the end. I was like, oh, no. They
I was
did.
gonna say, even just the word tonight, even not even anything else they said, the word tonight was said way more than anything else.
It robs it robs the power of the lines, because some of them are strong lines. Like I love Tommy when he goes to Lori and says, 40 years ago you protected me, and tonight I'm going to protect you. that's a very emotional, powerful moment because we know the history of that kid. When he last saw Myers, he was a 10-year-old or 8-year-old.
Mhm.
He was no match for this guy, and he was a victim, and he couldn't protect Laurie, who he
Yeah.
definitely liked. It was his friend. And now he's like, I am a grown man. I am a big, strong man, and I can fuck this guy up.
Yeah.
And I'm going to for you because I love you and you protected me. It's a big emotional moment, but it's robbed because someone said it 5 seconds ago. Like Brackett said, he killed my daughter 40 years ago. Evil dies tonight. So it's like seconds later, he's saying that line. And the power of that moment is gone because we've seen 5 other people say the same shit, in the last 20 minutes. And
It doesn't have the same effect. Yeah.
Yeah, it loses the power if everyone's saying the same lines. Even Allison, 40 years ago, he's haunted us for 40 years. We're going to hunt him and kill him tonight. It's like everybody is saying it. And it's like, if they just cut, and I don't understand it because they've had a year to go back over it and go, no one went, wow, this sound, we're saying a lot of the same shit. Can we cut that out? But that's my only really gripe of the movie is that. And other than that, I'm starting to like, all right, let it go.
It's starting to feel more like a Halloween movie too than it did for me initially. Seth, come on.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Come on.
Tell me what
Those are all. I would say those are all very valid points. I came out of this. I love the movie, but I definitely recognize that it had a lot of flaws.
I mean, that was your headline. Yeah, that was your headline for the article, right?
Yeah, because I mean, unlike what a lot of people on the internet believe, just you can like something without totally sucking it off. I enjoy this movie. I enjoy this movie for what it is.
That's very fair.
But I can also recognize that there are issues, and for me personally, they didn't bother me as much as they bothered maybe you guys or some other people out there. Evil Dies Tonight getting repeated was definitely annoying. But on my second watch, on my second, third, and fourth, and fifth watch of the movie, it was nothing to me. I was just really enjoying the.
Yeah,
and it does also because I know we were getting into story. It does kind of feel like filler too, if I was to add any type of complaint. And I think there was some probably missed opportunities with story arcs. I wanted a better story arc for Tommy. But again, I enjoyed the ride. I love the movie. So
it doesn't feel like they fleshed any of the original characters out at all.
The Evil Dies Tonight line doesn't bother me because it's the rally call of the mob, which we all know mobs and protesters and all that have that
slogan
phrase that they get behind, that they chant as a solidarity thing. And so that was it. But like the very first line we hear of the movie is when Hawkins grabs the kid and says, "It needs to die, and I'm going to be the one to get it." And then several other people say that through the whole movie, and he even says it again. He says it to Laurie. It needs to die. It needs to die. And so that. At the same time, I'm like, well, maybe that's all they shot. So, like, well, then they go say, we either lose the scene or we just have them staring at each other because that's all they fucking say in that scene. But also, like, I think he cut like 30 minutes out of the movie or 20 minutes out of the original cut. So maybe it wouldn't have felt so repetitive if there was space between.
Oh, maybe we lost a lot more tonight if he did.
40 years ago, he killed my dog.
That was my dog that he ate. 2 dogs he killed.
But don't get me wrong. I would still watch a director's cut when it comes out.
If they added those 30 minutes back in, I'd line up right for that, especially with the original ending, which I've heard there's a different ending, but I guess for what they're doing with the next one, which we'll get to, it made more sense for this ending. Is there anything else we want to touch on the story before we move to? Well, quickly, let's talk about the score because it was fantastic. That was one of the best parts about the movie, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's John Carpenter. I mean,
You don't like it?
Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and start first because
Okay.
we're all John Carpenter fans here. I don't know if you guys are fans with his music. I'm a huge John Carpenter synth fan.
First of all, Seth is not a John Carpenter fan. He's obsessed. Go ahead.
Yes, and so it's fine. But his son Cody was on this, and the other guy, his name is escaping me. Seth.
Daniel Davies.
Thank you. I felt that they tried to like upgrade it and upscale it, more contemporary style. There were moments in the film where it felt perfect, but then there were a couple of scenes towards the end, namely one where he was chasing Allison down the stairs after he killed her boyfriend at the top of the stairs. That it was totally like
I didn't love that music.
I'm a synthwave guy. Like,
Yeah.
I like synthwave music already, but like it just didn't feel like it added to the movie. Like it was too new sounding, I guess.
Yeah, I'd
Mm.
rather heard the shape chases music, the dun dun dun
Yeah.
dun, it kind of, because it feels off. It doesn't feel like Halloween.
There were certain parts in the score that kind of bothered me, but I think it's just because they were trying to do something different, something new, which I'm totally okay with. But that was the one scene that I noticed the music didn't really add with the tension of this, what was going on with the scene.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that's all I got.
That's the one that stuck out to me too.
The thing that stuck out to me was how on point the score was in the flashback. Because immediately, like in the theater, immediately my whole body was a fucking giant goosebump whenever you get to hear that old score again. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm getting, my nipples are hard. Anyway,
I was gonna say I got hard nipples a couple times during that movie.
Cold theater.
Yeah.
I want to talk about like characters, actors.
Yeah, so I've got it broken down to the returning characters. So why don't we jump into those characters first, if you don't mind?
Yeah.
So Tommy Doyle. First of all, I want to talk about Lonnie actually, because he's gotten no love in the series before ever. I mean, other than the very first movie, like why didn't they bring him in Halloween 6? Like it would have been good if he was in Halloween 6. But yeah, I at first I didn't like his character, but the more I watch this movie, I like him more and more. The older actor, and I love the beginning of the movie and the flashback again, where he's getting back. Like when I first saw it, I was like, oh, he's getting his shit back for what he does to Tommy. But Nate, you saw it a different way.
Yeah, because they're accusing him of stealing like one of their siblings' candy. Yeah, so like it's a retaliation for his bad behavior, I think.
Yeah.
Because he's a bad kid, So, but yeah, I love the actor. I haven't watched Midnight Mass yet, but I hear he's really good in that. I'm not familiar with his work, but I know he was in Dr. Sleep. I think he was one of the True Knot.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, but I really liked him. There was something. I believe that him and Tommy had history, which was I didn't feel that between the Marion and Kyle Richards. I didn't like. They didn't gel with me, but I believe that those two men were buddies.
Yeah,
I believe that, and I liked Lonnie in this one.
The one thing about Marion I kept wondering is like, how did she get in contact with these kids? That's the one thing that kind of bothers me.
My guess is that just out of solidarity for being survivors, they meet. Like she probably comes to Haddonfield because I don't think she was from Haddonfield. So
no,
I think she just kind of met them through the events following '78, and maybe it's just they're kind of, hey, every Halloween we're going to meet, we're going to drink, we're going to hang out, we're going to support each other and get each other through this night, because I'm sure they have PTSD, all of them, and they kind of help each other get through it together. I don't think I definitely think that Tommy and Lonnie and Lindsay probably do see each other occasionally. I mean, they also seem to know Karen and Ray. But I don't know if they hung out with Ray, because when Allison's talking about Ray or Ray and Lonnie, he's talking about their relationship, it doesn't seem like they've been around each other for a long time. I think they don't think they hang out, because even the way I think Ray talks about them, and I love that they both rat each other out for selling peyote. Because Ray said that Lonnie sold peyote.
Sounds way more believable.
I think Lonnie's telling the truth.
Yeah, I do too. Can't probably jump in the river or whatever. Yeah. Real quick, did anybody dislike the bar scene? I thought it felt very weird, just how people really act. Maybe
none of that worked at all. It was very stilted. It was very the bartender guy. Like David's friends with him. The guy's a real bartender. He was pretty awful.
Yeah.
He said nothing.
He's not a great actor, but
no. And Marion,
I thought it fit, but yeah.
Marion felt very lost. She didn't have a lot to say in the movie. And when she did,
she's the one who created that phrase.
Oh man.
And same for Lindsay too.
Yeah. So there was some disconnect. It didn't feel organic or real, really. I until they leave the bar and they go out to the car, which is an awesome scene. I love that. Like, Tommy Doyle's going to kick your ass. He's got the bat. Like, he looks like a beast of a guy. Anthony Michael Hall, I really dig his casting. I believe that he's a grown-up Tommy Doyle or Brian Andrews. I believe it. He's got that stilly blue eyes stare, and he's you kind of believe that, he may be able to whoop Michael a little bit,
Yeah, I wonder if he's bigger than the Brian Andrews also, because
he's a lot bigger than I met both of them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wonder if that's one of the reasons that they didn't cast him. They wanted somebody who was more physically imposing versus.
Yeah, Brian would have never worked for that part the way he's written, because Brian's a little kind of a small guy, chubby guy.
And if Paul Rudd had agreed to do it, he's like 5'6", 5'7".
Yeah, Paul really wouldn't have fit it either.
He's really small, but I mean,
man.
I know a lot of people liked his role as Tommy Doyle originally in the movie he was in, but
I loved him in that.
Yeah, he's
the best thing about Part 6 of my book.
Hey,
right.
Donald Pleasance is the best thing about that movie. Come on.
Yeah.
Donald Pleasance was what was bringing me back to that series every time.
That's for another discussion, guys.
I want to dig deep into Part 5. One time, I just want to dig deep into that one. I don't know why, but like I've had that on my brain. I want to dig deep into.
I just recently watched Joe Bob watching it, because I hadn't seen it when he did it, and I was just loving. He just, who the fuck? He just gets mad. He's like, you get a Arab and a guy from Sweden to make a American Halloween movie.
Yeah, that was a good episode. But anyway,
some of the people commenting love Paul Rudd as Tommy Doyle.
Oh,
yeah, he was great. He was one of the best things about that.
Yeah, I remember seeing that movie.
He did anything bad about it.
Yeah, I remember seeing that movie in theaters and like, this guy's too good for Halloween 6. This guy's really good. Who is this guy?
I thought when I saw it, I was like, he's going to be Ant-Man one day.
He was the dick boyfriend in Clueless. Who is this guy?
No, he was not a dick in Clueless. He was Cher's stepbrother, and it made the whole movie sticky at the end when they fell in love with each other.
That's right.
In my opinion, anyway.
I haven't seen that movie in like 20
years. The only
years.
characters that I really liked were Big John and Little John.
They were cute.
It was cool to see Michael McDonald, because I used to watch Mad TV all the time.
Mad TV, yeah.
Yeah.
I was showing my daughter Stuart today.
Stuart.
Yeah, that's Alex. Yeah, Big John and Little John, pretty funny stuff. Like especially when they had the kid with the puke and they got pranked and everything, and somebody went in their house. I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah,
stabbed his sister in the tits.
Yeah. When I first heard that, I was like, "What do you see? That's some kids," but they're like almost teenagers, so it's okay, I think.
And I love that we see characters who were background characters in the first movie. Like we get the black couple who see Michael in that great oneer from part 2018, and now they're main characters. But especially like we talked about the cemetery lady.
Yeah, I pointed that out. I don't know if anybody noticed this.
Lenny Clark playing her husband. There's a lot of comedians in this movie. in the first movie too. But their scene with the whole Michael like fixing himself up in the bathroom, like that's a creepy thing. He opens the door and he like, breaks the light, and like,
but he's in the dark too.
Yeah.
And the guy turns the light on, and Michael breaks the thing.
Breaks the light out. It's
Yeah.
like holy shit. But I love their relationship. I love that line where she's like talking about Lori, and he goes, "Don't you talk shit about that woman? She will kick your ass." But that scene is my favorite scene in the whole movie. Michael's behavior in that, it was taking it back to tilting his head, looking at Bob, where he's like stabbing Lenny Clark's body, grabbing another knife and stabbing him, and just kind of studying and looking and grabbing and stabbing.
This knife is not good enough. I need another one.
It's like, this one's a good one. I just love it.
Grabs the last one. I guess this is the one, and walks away. But you even get to watch. You almost get to see the woman who gets the fucking tube light stuck in her neck, the fluorescent light. You get to watch her watch him in terror while she's dying.
Yeah.
You know,
being
that's
tortured.
actually a really good scene.
Anytime he does that, because he does that twice, and it's like two of the best scenes where Cameron's being killed on the stairwell. And he walks down the stairs, and he's still kicking, so he stops, snaps his neck in front of her, and she's like, "You motherfucker!" Because he does it partly because he's still up, but also I think he's doing it because Allison's challenging him and cussing at him. He's like, "Oh yeah,
he's still not dead yet."
Yeah, if it was Freddie, of course, Freddie would be like, "What do you think of this, bitch?" And then proceed. Seth, you're quiet again. You just soaking it in?
Yeah. Well, we're talking about characters, right?
Yeah.
Marion was one that I wish that they did a little bit more with. I mean, even just a simple line of just saying, you know, something about how maybe her and Loomis kind of, you know, counseled Lindsay and Tommy after the events of '78 or something like that. I know the bartender does say this every Halloween that they all get together at this bar every Halloween. But I wish there was a little something more for Marion because her character was just kind of flat.
Her and Brackett,
she was just there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I said that loud in the group, that her and Brackett feel like their dialogue was written by a fan film writer. It's just like, Evil dies tonight. This is for Loomis. No one believed him. No one believed him. You know, it's one good scare. All that, like, it's he killed my daughter for it. Like, it feels like amateur writing. And like I said, they're not given anything to do or say. It's like they look lost to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they look like, what do I do?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I really like the friendship between Lonnie and Tommy. I think that's kind of actually rewarding in a way because, you know, when we know as kids, you know, Lonnie was bullying Tommy, and, you know, then they included, like, in the flashback, I don't know if you guys heard it, but when Lonnie was huddled down, he said something about Tommy was right.
Apologizes.
I'll never mess with Tommy Doyle again.
Yeah. So, like, I just like the idea that they, you know, became close friends. So I those two I think were my favorites out of all. You know, Lindsay, she had some good moments too, but she kind of left the film pretty early.
Yeah, she did.
But
I like her.
I thought she did. She did really good.
I love her chase scene, the hiding from him scene. That's really tense, scary. It's almost reminded me of Schwarzenegger hiding from the Predator.
So while we're on the subject of Lindsay Wallace, she ran out of the car, ran away, hid underneath the tree.
Yep.
And then the last we see, she's spitting up blood, and Tommy Doyle takes her into the emergency room. She did not look like she got that fucked up.
He hit her in the throat with his hand. I think he did damage.
Maybe I missed that, but like she was literally hiding under the tree.
He was choking the car with holding her throat.
Yeah, he was choking her against the truck, and then she tried to grab the mask, and he knocked her down.
Okay,
Michael.
See, this is why I need to watch movies 4 or 5 times.
Right.
She probably had some kind of internal injuries.
Yeah.
But the problem with that scene though is before they take her to the hospital, there's a scene where they're sitting in the car and she's talking. She's like, "Remember when we were sneaking into the Myers house?" Yeah, I never did that. It's like, why aren't you taking her to the hospital? Why are y'all sitting here having a beer talking about old times? It's like a scene that should be cut.
Yeah, that also that brings me to a problem that I had with the movie was when Michael was looking for her and he crosses the bridge and keeps going, and then the next shot we see all those silver shamrock mask setups. Like, when did he come back to do that? Because he crossed that bridge.
He obviously had a lot of time to position those bodies.
He did. That really bugs me. I like that they set that up. I think that's cool. But at the same time, Lindsay's hiding for how long under the bridge? And when did she get to the bridge? Because she was hiding behind a tree, and then when you see her again, she's coming out from under the bridge. That whole scene was messed up, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I just noticed that I watched Sean Clark's Horror's Hallowed Grounds, and he mentioned it too, because he did a walkthrough of all the locations of Halloween Kills, and I was like, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one who saw a problem with this scene. I guess he came back with this tableau or whatever it's called.
Sure, he came back. Let's talk about Judy Greer and Karen, because I think she's the other MVP of this movie. Like, I've always loved Judy Greer.
I do too.
I was always a fan of her, so I was happy that she was cast, but I was kind of disappointed that her in the first movie. It was just kind of, she didn't really reveal herself to the end. So I liked in this movie, she's the voice of reason. She's like telling everybody, like, that's not him. We did what we did to him in that house. We can't beat him. Like, there's no, like, what are we, like, we are no match for him. And it's the whole mob thing. And, what we've seen what it's wild that this movie came out before the COVID and before the protests last summer and before January 6th. And we've seen stuff like that before, but it really echoes what we've seen in the last year and just in general of cancel culture and people like getting a little bit of information and being ready to murder people over it. And that's really what it is. Like, they don't have included that guy's Michael Myers, but they're ready to murder that motherfucker.
And that part I do agree with. As much as I hate the whole mob mentality part of it. I haven't got to talk about that, but
it really echoes the world right now and how people respond and knee-jerk reactions without information, and you're ready to bury somebody. And I really like that. I talked about that in the whole Michael looking in the window thing, seeing a reflection of yourself. I definitely immediately got the Nietzsche thing from that of, when you're fighting monsters, you may become a monster yourself. Because when you look into the abyss looks back into you. I was like, oh, that immediately jumped in my head, that quote of, it's even Batman had it, if you live long enough to see yourself become the villain or what you hate or what you fight. But revenge, the idea of revenge, the idea of retaliation, of rage and anger, and what that can do to normal human. Horror movies have dealt with that. Like, even Wes Craven in Hills Have Eyes or Last House on the Left was dealing with that, of normal people being pushed to savagery when they have to. But the idea of people doing extreme things because they're so angry and they're so blind. Like Laurie says that to them when she's screaming, "It's not him, you fucking sheep." She's like, "It's not him."
Right.
Like, they are not listening.
Yeah.
They will not stop. And
that was an issue I had with that whole scene when Judy Greer literally runs up the stairs to try to fight off the crowd to tell them to stop chasing the guy. I don't remember his character's name, but the psychotic guy that got out of the insane asylum. Like, why would you even run up the stairs when there's literally 100 people trying to run up the stairs maniacally when you know it's not the reason they're wanting to go there? I was watching, when I watched it the second time, I was literally asking myself, why are you trying to beat them up the stairs to stop them when there's no stopping them anyways?
Well, she felt like she had to try, For me, I thought that was sort of like a defining character trait with her in this movie, is that she has this moment. And I think this moment that she has where she tries to save Trivoli and she can't, it was such a great moment that it makes what happens at the end I think, even more powerful in a way because
tragic.
she really becomes likable because she is pretty much the only level-headed person in this movie, you know.
Yeah.
And she's the only one that's really thinking straight in the movie.
Exactly. She's not just the nagging Karen.
Right. Like her character definitely evolved since we first met her in the beginning of 2018. I mean, even by the end of that film, she was starting to become a little bit more likable, and this one kind of really solidifies that arc for her. And one thing I want to
like that. I like that. Yeah.
One thing I want to say about the mob thing, before I forget, is that there was a huge missed opportunity not to include the line "Shit, Earl, that was Ted Hollister."
I really love the scene that follows it too, where Judy or where Karen and Tommy meet in the parking lot, and it just shows that Tommy's not the most intelligent where she is, like, because he's like still gonna he apologizes. I fucked up. You were right. I was wrong. I made a mistake. And she's telling, like, what are you gonna do? Like, she's still like trying to get through to him, you know, but he goes right back at it to still hunt him again, even though he saw the error in his ways. And unfortunately, she falls for it too, where she, you know, picks up that knife and stabs him at the end. Like, she talks about, I'm an innocent woman like your sister, and, you know, part of the reason I think she dies is because she crossed that line of vigilante instead of, you know, because all the other attacks on Michael, she was in self-defense. She was defending her daughter with the pitchfork. She was defending her daughter and her mom in the house, shooting Michael in the face. But yeah, that's what part of me hates that she died, because they finally gave her, like you said, a character arc and gave her character building to, like, I'm really rooting for Karen at this point. So it was bittersweet that she died, but it gives Laurie and Allison more of a. But again,
I kind of come from the other side.
Go ahead.
I feel like maybe it is a good thing she died. I mean, not to take anything away from her character, but that's what's going to make Allison do her thing and Halloween ends.
Yeah. Allison needs to rise, but it almost also kind of contradicts the whole message of this movie of giving in to vengeance and anger and rage and hate, you know?
Yeah.
So, because that's really what the movie's kind of saying, is like, sometimes our anger and our rage makes monsters out of us and makes things worse.
Mm-hmm. And she was the, like you said, like you guys were implying, she was the tempered mind. She was trying to keep everything keeled.
Laurie's anger and rage and fear, which is also about fear, the mob is about fear, has crippled Laurie's whole life and almost crippled Karen's life. Karen, like, walked away from that and said, this is not good for her.
Why she's wearing a Christmas sweater.
That's why she's wearing Christmas. It's like, I am not going to subscribe to this fear and this anger that you have. I'm going to live a life.
Fuck pumpkins. I'm going to wear pine trees. God damn it. Oh my God.
All right, so that was one of the worst parts for me. Now, Seth, I hate myself for this, but Seth read a spoiler script sometime in the middle of the year last year, and I asked him, I was like, who dies at the end or whatever, and he told me that Karen died, and I knew it was coming, but god damn it, she's my favorite character in this movie. And even the last, and I love Judy Greer from her work in Arrested Development, Archer. Do you remember the movie I forgot the name of it, Jawbreaker? Yeah, I mean, I love Judy Greer, but that's what was one of the things. It was like
Heather's 2.0.
Watching Luke at the end of The Last Jedi, or watching fucking Harvey Dent. It's like my favorite character dies again. Come on. So let's talk about the end, though. Let's talk about, because I know Nate's running out on time.
Yeah, like three other things I had written down, but I'm good.
What are they? Let's see. Can we knock them out real fast?
Oh yeah. There was three little things I had. We talked about Michael's evil, and people are questioning, is because put it that Michael's human, but this is obviously showing that he's beyond human or man. Like he's endured.
And that's what this kind of led into my thing. But
you're talking about the ending. Yeah, you're kind of getting in there. But we talked about, well, it can't be a man. He is elemental. It is a force. It is a nature that's plagued the whole town in this movie. But like, to me, the answer, I brought it up in our group chat, was in the first movie where they hold the mask up and everything changes. It starts to affect all the other patients who are in tune with it. It's in the air.
Yeah.
Michael, all of this elemental evil is emitting.
Even the dogs start freaking out. Yeah.
Myers, the dogs are barking. There was something supernatural or just plain evil, as Dr. Loomis has said, about this shape. He is the shape, and in that scene, he's affecting all the people who are in tune with it. The nut jobs, the mental cases, the dogs, all that, they're picking up on what he's emitting, and it's just whatever that is spreading through wherever he goes, and it's spread to the town, it's spread to the people, and the evil is reflected in what they're doing. He's a reflection of our dark side and our evil.
Excuse me. And with that, Laurie even says something towards the end that with each kill he transcends. So it's like
Freddy.
Huh?
Every soul he gets, he gets stronger.
Oh, my children. Go ahead, Seth.
And I know Seth said something about this too in our personal chat, but go ahead, dude.
Oh, well, yeah. If you really think about the way John Carpenter's Halloween ends, it ends with the audience and Loomis learning that Loomis was right the entire time. Mm-hmm. The fact that Michael got up after getting shot 6 times in the chest, falling off a balcony, the fact that he walked away from that final moment, that final look on Loomis's face, that was telling us that Michael is not human. Dr. Loomis was right the entire time. And so, and I think even with these new movies, they're really escalating that. I mean, we could say that I know that the filmmakers themselves have kind of skirted that line by kind of leaning more towards he's a man. But if you think of all the abuse he took, even in 2018 alone, he wouldn't have survived that. And it seems like, exactly. And it seems like every time that he gets injured, he gets more violent in this new timeline.
This dude gets shot in the fucking neck. It's like that was my problem. Like, I think part of the problem is what's been going on with movies in the last decade or so, maybe even a little bit longer, where they're starting to ground things in reality a little bit more, rather than like the old movies. Mm-hmm. We had Jason, who was a fucking zombie basically, and it was okay for this, and the Dream Demon. It was okay for Michael Myers to keep coming back after he got shot in the eyes and lit on fire in an explosion. So for some reason with this, like the Dark Knight series fucked me up because I'm starting to think things are just grounded in reality more and more, and that's what I thought this series was going for, but apparently not.
And Karen sees little Michael Myers' ghost in the window. I mean, there's definitely supernatural elements to it.
The fucking window. What's his motivation, by the way? What is his motivation? It's not Laurie. We learned that.
That's where he feels most comfortable.
Yeah, but we always thought his motivation, even everybody else thought his motivation was Laurie. It's not. He went home, killed Little John and Big John. I'm Team Big John, by the way. Big John, awful death. Stabbed in the fucking armpit. Come on,
I know, armpit.
Right?
Terrible.
I've got this. I've got this knife.
I know, the littlest knife.
He puts on a fucking record too, which really bugged me. But like, this knife.
I got this. It's literally as big as my finger.
Said we need a Big John, Little John spin-off, and I'm on board. I'm just saying.
I love them, man. They're so good.
They were good. Yeah, they were good.
I thought the entire thing was cute as hell. I don't use cute very often, but I thought those guys were cute.
The other thing I had, we didn't talk about the firefighter scene.
Yeah.
Man, that was fucking brutal.
A way to start off Michael returning. I mean, shit. Like when that steel door goes up, in the basement.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, dude.
It's on. Yeah.
Yeah, he found a way to contain himself.
I guess that petition didn't work out very well. They left it in there.
Shit, why did we leave that there? The
that was good, man.
The only other note I had, in case I don't want to forget it, was I love that Laurie, the reality, the grounding of this movie is Laurie doing the typical movie thing, saying, I'm going to stab myself with morphine and I'm going to get up and I'm going to go keep fighting. Then she gets out in the hallway. She hits that guy, that doctor or whatever. She's like, oh shit. No, I just had really bad stomach surgery.
I had a very invasive surgery.
Yeah,
my intestines were coming out.
We're so used to seeing movies where people endure incredible wounds and they just keep going. It's like, no, I love that. Like, okay, no, I can't do this.
She's out for like 2 weeks at least.
So that's why we're going to get that 4-year gap.
Yeah. Before you go, I want to get your thoughts on that. Like, what are your thoughts on the 4-year gap between kills and ends?
But that part, like, it's got to be Will Patton and Jamie Lee Curtis part of the last fisticuffs going into it, and they're both.
No.
Like,
I want to know: does Jamie Lee Curtis move into Karen's house with Allison since she doesn't have a home now? This is what I want to know. I want to know.
The important stuff. I really do hope that Allison becomes the focus, because I do like Andy. I think she's great, and she really didn't get a lot to do in this movie, and other than a few moments because it's so spread out. But I really
trailer scenes. Total trailer scenes.
We've gotten so many Laurie Strode movies that I kind of would like to see Allison become the lead of the next movie and be who we're following. Because I think that we've gotten this manic, crazy, spread out movie with all these characters. If it went back to containment to finish the third act, and we just have, I guess we'll get Lindsay. Lindsay's still alive, but hopefully she's not, one of the main characters this time around.
She's one of the only ones left other than Laurie and Hawkins and Brackett.
I mean, I've always been a huge Will Patton fan, so I'm glad to see. I really hoping that Hawkins. I think now that they've established him, that's who we meet first in this movie, and so we get to learn more about him. And so I think we know enough about him and he's redeemed because he's carried this guilt all his life that he could have ended this if he had let Loomis kill. But now he knows Loomis probably wouldn't have killed him, even if he'd let him shoot him.
Yeah.
Myers would have killed his partner even if he had shot him.
Wait.
Shot him. I mean,
go back.
There's no stopping this thing.
So you think if Loomis had him point blank, he's on his knees, right in the head. If Hawkins didn't step in, that Michael wouldn't have died from a bullet to the head?
I don't think so. I don't think anything.
How are they going to finish the series? I got
know.
it. They're going to chop his head off. He's going to switch bodies though with Hawkins. No, Laurie. It'll be Laurie this time.
I really don't know how you do it because I know
how they're going to end everything.
Do you?
They're going to kill everybody that is part of the whole story, and Allison is going to be the continuation.
Well, like Laurie says at the very end of the movie, like Myers, he will, even if like they keep saying it, even if we don't see him, he's still there. It could be tomorrow, it could be a year, it could be 5 years. He'll be there, and I think that's the thing. Like that's the whole thing that John Carpenter presented. You can't kill the boogeyman. So when you thought you have him, you shot him 6 times off the balcony. He's gone and he's everywhere. And that notion, it should end that way, the way the original movie ended, where you can't kill damnation, mister. Don't die like a man dies. It's everywhere. It's elemental.
And David Gordon Green did his best to kill everybody off that was remaining in the first Halloween movie.
All the ties are gone.
We have only a couple of characters left for Halloween Ends. I think Laurie Strode's going to put up a wonderful fight, and she's going to get killed in the tit. I don't know.
So do you think there will be more movies after Halloween Ends in this timeline?
Possibly.
I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to make money.
Yeah.
I don't want to see another Laurie Strode thing again. I think this should be Laurie Strode's final hurrah, and then we can move on.
That's what I think too.
Well,
But that's also why I think Allison is going to carry on the torch, kind of like Nate was saying earlier. You know, this is going to be the motivation to move it on.
I think David Gordon Green said that they're not opposed to doing another one after Ends. Am I wrong? I think I heard that.
I watched the interview today. He said he's done with Halloween, but
this guy is fucking wishy-washy. Well, I mean, he doesn't necessarily have to direct it. I mean, he could be or maybe with Blumhouse, the Blum.
They're horror movies that are making almost $100 million. I don't think he's Yeah.
Well, he's connected to the Hellraiser.
He's doing The Exorcist next, isn't he?
The Exorcist. Well, I thought he was connected to Hellraiser too.
I think you got a Hellraiser going in the other room.
I do. I told them in quiet. They're out there playing hide and seek. How do you play hide and seek with two people? And my daughter's wearing a goddamn Ghostface costume.
He was attached to the Hellraiser TV series that they were going to do for HBO Max. Now, this was announced before Clive Barker sued to get the rights back. You know, there is a movie going on at the same time. And, you know, I keep track of Hellraiser news, and there hasn't really been anything on the show in a while. So I don't know if it's even still going to happen or what.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll see. He's, for the most part, doing a fine job with the Halloween. I'm looking forward to Halloween Ends. Is there anything else we want to discuss before we call it an evening? We kind of went through. Nate, let your final thoughts, final things you want to say about the movie before we wrap it up. I know you got to bust out of here shortly.
Yeah. Like I said, my initial reaction, I didn't dislike it, but I wasn't over the moon about it, and then rewatching it again, I was like, God, man, the dialogue is just there's a lot of poor choices in that area, and I wish they had cut the film more, trimmed a lot of dialogue, trimmed things like that. But the more and more I watched it, the more I went, I still like a lot of this. Like I said, first 25 minutes, I'm like, first 25 minutes is great. And then I went, the first 30 minutes is great. The first 35 minutes are great. And then you get into that middle hospital area where all the dialogue starts to become very repetitive. And you're like, I wish that was trimmed up a bit. But then I get to all those scenes that we come to these movies for, which is, Michael and his carnage and all of that stuff.
It's a slasher film when you come down to it.
Yeah, every scene that Michael's in is fucking phenomenal. It's just really it delivers. And I think that's what the people who are loving it, that's what they're loving about it is it's called Halloween Kills and we're getting kills and it's a fun slasher.
To one of the houses.
So
I don't know.
I think that's what's working for it.
Done. Sorry.
That's okay.
I totally talked over you, dude.
Yeah.
I apologize. I did not mute that.
I was getting ready to, and then you stopped. So,
but I don't know where it sits on my ranking, and I'm not even gonna bother. I know it's not one of my top 4 or top 5.
Well, here's the thing, Nate. We still have to do a Halloween ranking show because we've never done one.
We haven't.
Come on,
we've done at least 4.
Not Halloween ranking shows.
We've had to have done Halloween ranking shows.
No, we've done Friday the 13th. We've done Elm Street. We've done the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, all that. But not Halloween. I'm almost certain. I'll go back to the archives from last year, and I'm almost certain we did. Did we? Come on, Seth. You know, right?
Had to have done it.
Come on. Well, there's a new movie out, so we gotta add the new movie.
I gotta update it. I don't know where I put this one. It's probably in that H2O Rob Zombie area, middle ground.
Yeah,
I'm having problems because
I'm kind of the same way.
I recently rewatched 07 and I liked it more, and it was the same thing with H2O. So like my list right now, originally Kills was number 11 out of 12, but like after I came to my senses and realized it's not as bad as Halloween Resurrection, it fell a little bit. But like right now, Kills and 2018 are right there next to each other. So probably somewhere in the middle. I still have Curse above both of them, but that's just pure love for that movie because I'm stupid. But
That's just personal opinion.
Nate, you heading out?
I'm gonna check out. Thanks, guys.
We'll see you later, buddy.
Later, man.
Yep.
Bye.
All right.
And he's out.
And he's out.
Okay.
So, Seth, it's your turn. Final thoughts. Take as much time as you need. I'm going to take his Xanax. No.
You know, like I said, I really love this movie even from the first time I saw it. I think it's a lot of fun, and I think it really works well as a follow-up to the 2018 film. I think it's actually kind of seamless, and like one of the things that I think Nate mentioned earlier is bringing some of the background characters from that movie, giving them the focus. Mm-hmm. I liked, you know, and just to go back on this a little bit, you know, one of my chief complaints about the 2018 film was that there wasn't enough stalking. But going into this one, I knew that we were well past that point. So I didn't really believe that we were going to get any of those classic Halloween type vibes from this, as far as what made, you know, the original or some of the other sequels good. So I kind of went in expecting this to be, this is going to be the big one. It's going to be the chaotic one. There's going to be, you know, lots of violence and gore. So
double body count.
Maybe that's probably why. Yeah. So I think that's probably why I'm I guess a little bit more zen about this movie. It's just because I knew what to expect going into it. And I like I said, I think it works very seamlessly with the 2018 film. And in a way, it kind of enhances the 2018 film. Going back and watching 2018 is kind of fun now to kind of go back and just pick out the threads and knowing what's going to happen to certain characters here and there. And overall, it's just, for me, it's just a lot of fun. I think it's paced very well. I love the score for this movie because I feel like Carpenter and his son and his godson, what they did was they took a lot of the themes from both the 78 film and the 2018 film, and they kind of blended them together. And I think the overall sound of the movie was a lot more sinister with how they handle, especially with the theme. You know, and as I said earlier, you know, I definitely recognize that this is not a perfect movie at all. I love it. I'll probably keep watching. I have this ranked at number 4 on my list. But you know, it's you know, not the greatest Halloween sequel, but it's definitely one that I feel like I can watch anytime. Maybe it's too soon to make the comparison, but it's almost kind of like how I feel about Elm Street 4. Yeah.
That's a hot take. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. And, you know, a couple other points I wanted to mention too. As far as the whole thing with the window, I'm not going to try to overthink that one. I think they emphasize that way too much in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's what I was just going to say. They showed the reflection like multiple times throughout the whole movie.
And they talked about it too. They talked about it multiple times about the window, and I think they were just overemphasizing. I really like the line about how, you know, Michael wasn't looking out; he was looking at his reflection and looking inward. And I think that's a nice little nugget that doesn't, you know, try to explain anything, but it's another kind of interesting thing that, you know, fans can run wild with. And I hope that they don't do anything more with that with Halloween Ends. And my final thing to address some of the things that we've talked about, I think the only way Michael can die is if they go down into Laurie's basement, they get the can of Triax on 245, and they call the army number on the bottom, and they just nuke Haddonfield. Yeah. It's the only way you can destroy Michael.
That's the only way to kill evil.
Yep.
Fucking Jason Goes to Hell style. We'll just blow him the fuck up.
Yeah.
How much time do we have left?
Go ahead.
Well, do we have anybody watching still?
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, I totally don't disagree with Seth on the soundtrack. Like, I love John Carpenter with every fiber of my being. Like, he is one of the most amazing synth guys in the world. But like I said earlier, there was just a couple points that kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but for the most part, he did a fucking phenomenal job. And his son, Cody, too. And I didn't realize the other guy was his godson. So it was a whole family effort. That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. I think to your point, like, there are like moments in the score that kind of sound like they came straight up from his Lost Themes albums rather than from, being something more to Halloween.
Yes.
And I did kind of get that impression a little bit too here and there with the score for 2018.
And if anybody's still listening, the Lost Themes are still really good.
They are, especially the third one.
1 and 2. I haven't heard the third one yet. I haven't heard.
I think the third one's my favorite.
Oh shit!
Yeah, check it out.
I'm failing here.
Do you have any more thoughts on the rest of the movie, Jared? Your final thoughts, maybe?
Most of them are just like looking forward towards the future. Like, we've literally killed off everything from the past in this timeline, I guess, since they destroyed the timeline when they made this movie.
Kind of like The Last Jedi. Yeah.
But I mean, you know what? Sheriff Brackett, he may come back and,
No, he's dead.
He's dead.
He got his throat slapped.
Yeah. It was his blood that splattered on Tommy's face.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yep.
That was during the...
As soon as Michael gets right back up, he turns. I think he rolls around on the ground, right, and then he makes.
So that was during the mob thing at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No. I totally missed that. I guess. My bad.
Because that's the thing is like how they filmed that.
It was a very quick montage.
Yeah, it was like a lot of like close-ups and it. I wish they pulled the camera back a little bit and let us get to see it. It was very choppy with how it was edited. Because otherwise, it's a badass moment. That whole thing. I think
agreed.
With the mob going after him and then him getting right back up and just fucking everyone up.
Yeah, 100%. What else, Jared? Anything else you got before we close?
It's just stupid gripes about the last few minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Judy Greer at the, she goes up to the top of the house and how does nobody hear her scream? How does nobody hear anything? Everybody's at the fucking front of the house. Nobody hears her scream.
Well, in space, nobody.
I know it's stupid, but
no, it's not stupid. Seriously. I mean,
her daughter is literally on the front porch. She doesn't hear her screaming. Literally right above her head.
There's a lot of things that bother me about that too, but I don't know.
It makes the ending more effective. Don't get me wrong. I love the ending, seeing his face, and then it cuts to the credits. That's fucking awesome. It was very effective. Don't get me wrong.
How do you think Michael would hold a cell phone? I was thinking about that, in Halloween 78, he's holding the phone like this, like gripping it tight. So the thing is, I heard that there's the alternate ending is Lori calls Karen's phone and Michael answers and kind of just breathes heavily into it. So I'm wondering, does he hold it like this is how I hold my phone, like this? You think Michael's doing that? Or do you think he's holding it like this? I was thinking about that. I was like, I think it'd be silly to see him holding a cell phone, like a current cell phone. Hello. I don't know. That's stupid. Oh, better late than never. You can watch it on the replay. Don't worry, I didn't rage out too much or at all, really. John's probably
put in some nice windows.
Maybe he was admiring the craftsmanship of.
I was
Big
gonna
John
say
Williams.
the entire house is painted a nice green.
Do you remember the animated Robin Hood Disney movie with the foxes Robin Hood and the song Robin Hood, Little John walking through the forest? I kept thinking, like, every time they kept saying Little John, Big John, I kept thinking Little John and Big John walking through the forest.
Little John round through the forest.
So this is for me. I'll say this is a movie that's going to grow and grow on me. I'm sure. I don't think it'll ever make the top 5 for me, but it'll be more than how I feel about The Dark Knight and The Last Jedi, where I have to accept both of those movies. I have no choice. I absolutely despise The Last Jedi still, but I had to accept it because it was Star Wars. And I discussed this with Seth the other day about middle chapters being I have a problem with The Dark Knight, The Last Jedi, and Halloween Kills. Like I said it immediately after I was like, this is the Last Jedi of the Halloween movies. And my thing was because I thought I was like, I don't like it. Seth loved it. Keith seemed to like it. I was like, this is going to separate the fan base. And like immediately after, in these stupid groups, I see people going after each other about Halloween Kills, just like they did with The Last Jedi. I was like, I was right.
That's the thing about, people that are extremely, close to the source material. What does they say? Holds the phone in front of him like an older person.
Karen.
First thing. That's Brianna. That is a very good. Yeah. Very good. But I was going to say,
Resurrection's worse, without a doubt.
Like, I know how you reacted when Last Jedi came out, but it's like everybody that's addicted to the source material, you're not always going to be in love or obsessed with what comes out because it's not written by the original writers. And
neither was The Force Awakens, but I like that.
I mean, well, neither was 2018. We all seem to like that just fine. But
that one keeps getting worse still. For me, it just keeps getting. Halloween Kills. Remember what I said?
That is another episode.
Do you guys remember what I said though about I hope Halloween Kills enhances my feelings for Halloween 2018? It didn't. It made it worse for me for some reason. I'm not a big fan. You know what? The Thorn trilogy, the Thorn series is still my timeline. Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that means I'm old or whatever, but I don't care. I don't know. I will say this again. I hope Halloween Ends wraps it up. I do not want to see a follow-up movie after that. I hope it wraps it up. And because I loved I didn't love The Rise of Skywalker, but I liked it better. And I liked The Dark Knight Rises better. This should be Halloween Rises because they're both Rise in the fucking title.
They are.
The movies, so maybe that's
they are kind of.
But I mean, like, I don't know. This movie, see, the thing is, I have an emotional connection to Halloween in so many ways. And sometimes when I say that, I feel
we all do, brother.
I know, but like, this one fucking broke my heart, okay? For the people who don't know, who do know me, who follow me on Facebook, this movie fucking hurt me, okay? And that's stupid to say, but The Last Jedi hurt me. The Dark Knight hurt me. And it's because I am extremely invested in Batman. I have been all my life. I've been extremely invested in Star Wars, and I've been extremely invested in Halloween. And don't even get me started on Elm Street. If they fuck that up somehow, and I don't think they ever have, by the way. I don't think because Freddy can do whatever he wants. But this movie fucking hurt me.
Unless they recast him.
And that's why
then you're gonna fucking race against the walls.
Yeah, but my son loved it, so. He loved the Halloween Kills, but I'm coming around. It went from like a 1.5 to about a 2.5 at this point after 4 viewings. It shouldn't take me 4 viewings, but whatever. I'll get there. I'll get to a solid 3 at some point.
Go, Seth.
This movie is very divisive for fans, and it's unfortunate too because I'm in a couple fan groups still. I've started slowly kind of been bouncing from them, but. There's extremes on both sides. The people there's people who are like, if you didn't like anything about it, you're not a true Halloween fan, and
I
just
hate
talking shit.
Yeah,
Me
I hate
too.
that.
And then there's the opposite side, just the people that absolutely hate the movie and they can't understand at all why people do like it. And these people are they're going at each other's throats like hardcore, and it's unfortunate. It's like I said towards the beginning of the show tonight, you can like something without sucking it off. Like it's fine.
You can like something by licking the tip.
Not my experience.
that bit later,
Oh my god!
But I mean, you can it's okay because like Ray, for example, passionate fan, so it's okay that he feels the way he does about the movie, and then likewise I'm a passionate fan too, and it's okay that I feel the way that I do about the movie.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, it's just a movie. Because
and then I'm in the middle, just jerking you guys off.
Jared was concerned.
That's right.
Jared was concerned about it.
I was a little bit.
He's like, you were so fucking mean to Seth. I was like, wait a second.
I did not use those words whatsoever.
I know you didn't. I know you didn't.
Anyways, fuck your opinion. Fuck your opinion. My opinion is right.
Yes.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone,
go ahead.
Like everyone on the internet wants to be right.
That's true. That's the problem with the social media.
Exactly.
But here's the thing, though. Let me tell you that when it comes down to it with Halloween Kills, guess what? It's a fucking Halloween movie, regardless. It's a Halloween movie. It's got maybe not the stalking, but it's got all of the hallmarks of a Halloween movie. You got Michael Myers killing people. You got the Myers house is back, which was great. There's a lot of good stuff in this movie. But, and again, like I think I'm going to like this better than 2018 when it's all said and done. But this is to its core Halloween. And as Halloween fans, that's what we want. If you're a true Halloween fan, don't be a dick. That's all I say. Because everybody hates Resurrection. Almost I don't. I like Resurrection just fine. Excuse me. But you can not like certain parts of the series and still be a true Halloween fan. I mean, we grew up with the Thorn trilogy, and we've really grown up with the series. I mean,
we survived through that.
Yeah, and not survived. Those are great. But you know what I'm saying? I knew as soon as I got out, I knew my reaction. I was like, this is going to be The Last Jedi all over again, but with horror fans now. And it has been, but the best part is horror fans are not as big of dicks as Star Wars fans. Trust me. Oof, Star Wars fans are rough.
I know there are comic book and superhero fans, and God, horror fans are dicks too.
You didn't see the private chat. Seth, let me ask you real fast, since you're got your ear to the ground. With all this, and I know that Halloween Ends has not filmed yet, but do you know anything going in at all? Like any rumors other than the 4-year time gap?
I don't. I haven't honestly, and the thing is, I'm a weak-willed person. I say I'm not gonna look for spoilers this time, and
you're going to.
And in some ways, I kind of wonder what my reaction to Halloween Kills would have been if I didn't read the script or if I didn't know anything about the movie.
You didn't know going in.
Because I went in
with Ends.
Yeah, well, I mean, I went in, and that's why maybe I'm a little more positive about Halloween Kills, is because I kind of knew what to expect in terms of the style the film was going to be, in terms of how the story structure was going to be. So I'm gonna try not to read anything about Ends.
Do you think your will was weaker because it was delayed by a year?
Oh no, definitely not. No. I'm naturally a weak-willed person. I get excited like a kid at Christmas. I if you want to go back to Star Wars, the day before The Force Awakens came out, I spent the entire day. I had the day off from work.
Oh, dude, I think we are all like kids in a candy store.
So
So
Why
like,
would you do
I
that to
knew
yourself?
Han Solo was going to die.
Why would you do that to
knew-
yourself?
No,
I
did
knew
not know that.
I knew my favorite character was going to die in the
I
Force
did not
Awakens.
know that. I saw that in the theater and I literally cried.
Somebody said that as we were walking in. They walked out. Han Solo dies. Han Solo dies. I was like, I'm surprised we didn't do some fucking Halloween Kills shit and chase that guy around the movie theater until he jumped out the window. That was some bullshit.
That guy's
my
a
wife just looked at
dickhole.
me. She's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like,
Fucking
I had a
dickhole.
feeling he'd die because Harrison Ford hates Han Solo, but Jesus, we didn't have to listen to that asshole. Anyway, go see Halloween Kills in the theater. It's definitely way better seen in the theater. Keith was right. He did say that to me after my initial reaction. Jared, if you get a chance, check it out in the theater because it's worth it. Plus, it supports horror movies, and we want horror movies to make money so that we can keep getting theatrical releases.
I'll try to catch Lamb in the theaters.
I don't even know what to do about that movie. I've seen the trailer like 10 times.
Based
I'm like,
off
what
the
fuck
trailer,
is
I don't
this?
know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's a
like
good
the
movie.
Midsummer trailer, the Hereditary trailer. I saw those. I'm like, oh man, this is really
No.
speaking to me.
They
This one, I'm
always
like, what
do
the
that.
fuck?
A24 always does that. You
Yeah,
don't
but are
want
they
to
getting
know what the
more
fuck's
weird
going
because
on?
you think they can get more weird because they can?
Yes.
You know?
Yes, because every single movie that they do is good. Or at least distribute.
All right, so
They
last
don't necessarily produce them, but they distribute them.
yeah, well, they
I
can do
watched
whatever
one
they
of their
want.
movies, The Black Coat's Daughter, today. It's a really good movie. It has what's his fucking name? The guy from Best of the Best.
The fucking 80s kickboxing
Yes.
movie or whatever.
Oh yes, oh yes. His daughter,
Oh,
Emma.
is it Emma Roberts?
Yes, fucking Roberts. Thank you.
I
Fuck.
fucking adore her.
Yes.
I love her.
Emma Roberts is in
Yeah,
it. Yes.
she was in Scream Queens, American Horror Story. She was in
Yes.
Scream 4.
And
as
the girl
Jill.
that was in the Netflix Sabrina thing
I
that
don't know
they
her
did.
name, but yeah.
She's kind of cute too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I have never even heard of the movie, and when we were talking in our just our group chat about all the A24 movies, like I think it's free on if you have Amazon Prime, but it's a fucking weird movie.
A lot of their movies are showing up on Prime like that with the.
It's a lovely romance with the devil. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Okay, so I want to show this off. If anybody hasn't checked it out, this is Seth's review of Halloween Kills. It is on our website, thehorrorsyndicate.com. It's spoiler free. If you watch this, spoilers you're fucked. So
very well written.
Now this
for
is the most
a
important part.
non-spoiler article. Yes.
Check out and grab yourself a Horror Syndicate t-shirt.
Shameless promo.
I mean, it's just to support the site or support us. I mean, I love seeing people wearing Horror Syndicate t-shirts, even if it's just us, Also, come back next week. We're going to talk about something else. It's the last week of October. So I'm not sure what the topic's going to be. I put we can do this now. I put a poll up on the YouTube page.
So we're doing a wild card episode?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens because if Nate's coming back, we're gonna do fucking rank all the Halloween movies because fuck it. Because fuck it. And Seth, when you rewatch this, somebody mentioned Supernatural in this episode and one of the comments, the show.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I saw that and I was like, oh, I hope Seth saw that, but I guess you didn't. But yeah, Halloween Kills out in theaters. You can check it out on Peacock for like the next 50 days or something like that. So check it out, watch it a lot because again, go to a theater, watch it on Peacock, go back and forth, because this is only going to help us when we get Halloween Ends comes out and whatever else comes out. And plus, maybe this will get people's asses motivated to make another Friday the 13th and another Elm Street movie. Let's get these motherfuckers out. Let's make the 2020s the rebirth of the 80s slasher. That's what I want. I'm not going to fucking lie. I'm not gonna lie. I love slasher movies. So anyway, thanks for coming out. Thanks for enduring. We didn't argue at all, did we?
We didn't. No,
I'm proud of us.
we got it all out of our system in the group
Yep,
chat.
we did. We did. It's good. So next week we'll have another episode. If you want us to rank all 12 Halloween movies, a group ranking, if you will, let us know in the comments. Otherwise, we'll figure something else out. We're going to be talking about werewolf movies coming up. We're going to be talking about Italian horror again coming up. November is our Italian horror month. We've got maybe Killer Clowns from Outer Space one day. We've got the brackets are running through next week. So far in the final four, we've got The Lost Boys, Night of the Living Dead, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The current bracket's the hardest one of all four. So
Jesus.
lots of stuff going on with the Horror Syndicate. I also want to thank all 3,000 people who have recently liked the page. There's tons of great content that we do almost on a daily basis with the Horror Syndicate. And also, thank you to the 300 people who have subscribed to the YouTube channel. And keep bringing people over because we're over 1,000 subscribers. My goal for the end of this year was 15,000 Facebook page likes and 1,000 subscribers. So I want to thank Jamie Lee Curtis personally because I know she'll see this. For I put up a post. So I put up a post saying that she played Laurie Strode in 6 different decades, which caught me a lot of shit because how can 6 decades be 43 years?
I'm not
The
sure how
1970s,
that
the
many
1980s,
people fucking did
90s,
that.
2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. That's 6 idiots. So thank you, Jamie Lee. I love you. Seth, do you love her? Tell her because she's watching.
Yeah, she's totally watching. She's a big fan of our show.
Yeah.
And thanks to my boy Johnny Schamberg for being our 1,000.
You win a free high five.
And we'll do lots of a couple of our regulars are just getting here. Jared, where's that Fulci Lives sign, Jared?
I still have to go through my boxes.
Oh, hey, Jared.
We're also at some point we're going to do
funny.
a giveaway for these Friday the 13th.
I still have to go through boxes. Oh my god. That's why I don't share stuff on Facebook because people pull it up and like, where is this happening?
Where is it, Jared? It should be right over your shoulder. I think it should. I want that fucking sign.
No, it should be.
I know that you probably don't have a will yet, but I want you to put that in your will for me. If you die before me, I want that sign. I don't want you to die before me, but I do want that sign.
You can have it.
Birthday's in May. So, all right. Anything else you guys want to say before we peace out of here? Yes, thank you for loving the Horror Syndicate. I appreciate that. Believe me, it was very emotional when we hit that 15,000 for me. I dropped a tear. I'm not gonna lie, I did. I was like, now my work is done and I can go garden like Thanos. So.
I will find that Fulci though. It's in my boxes after moving.
We are going to talk about some Italian horror, Jared. I've got so much to say about some of the shit I've watched. Have you seen Jungle Holocaust?
Oh yeah. I have it right over here. I have it right here
dick tugging in that movie. They're tugging on guys' dicks and shit in the cannibal.
Yep.
They don't know what
I have it behind me right here.
Yeah, Mimi Lay in there too.
Yeah.
Her boobs defy gravity.
Yep.
All right. Anyway, that's rambling. We'll be back on Thursday with another show. I will finally get Seth's since we got a good video finally. Seth's top 23, all 23 Carpenter directed films. We'll have that video coming up sometime, probably this weekend, hopefully. And then the brackets. And you love us, we love you. Thank you. Have a great night. And hit the subscribe button if you're new here. Get more people. Share the Horror Syndicate with the ones you love.
Might as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great night. We'll see you next Thursday for our final show of October. We'll figure out